This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in California. I am here with Sensory Product Design. Since 2017, they've been on a mission to help all people be aware of their nervous system and then understand that they have a choice and tools that can bring them back to center. I am joined here with the CEO, Liz Holland. Liz, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Oh, thank you, Gary. Looks like
Um,
my doggy wanted to be a part of it more so.
That is great. You got your mascot right there. I'm going to start off a little bit about yourself. You were formally educated at the University of Arts. You spent nearly 2 decades as the owner of Design Paradigm, traveling worldwide to ensure the highest quality products. This experience in design, marketing, sales, and production has led you to designing a product that really has addressed an issue you were diagnosed with after suffering many years. Share with us how this journey to COZYZZ began for you.
Okay, well, I was diagnosed with sensory processing disorder, which is a complex neurological reaction to your senses being overstimulated. And in my life, it was there wasn't a lot of acceptance for the struggles I had. People were like, "What's your problem? Get over it." So, and I felt like I should just be able to get over it, whatever it was, whatever sense was being triggered. And so I kind of quietly, on my own, made all kinds of things to help live in this body. My dad was an inventor, lifelong inventor, held over 100 patents, was very successful, the forefather of the automatic warehousing systems industry. But he died when I was in college, when I was 20. And so I didn't get to pick his brain about like all the rest of it beyond the inventing. But as soon as I got this diagnosis and really understood what happens in my own body, I was like, oh, I've designed so many products that would help people. Which one's first? And I wanted to pick the most universal sense of being cold. We all have experienced that. We've been so cold that we just can't get warm. Hands and feet, we know if you keep your extremities warm, you have a lot better chance of feeling your whole body warm. So I started with the COZYZZ line. We pronounce it is COZYZZ.com, but we pronounce that one COZYZZ as the whole product line. We've already launched the COZYZZ and the COZYZZ. And the COZYZZ is a throw blanket that it has hand and feet pockets. I have one right here. And the child version.
So this is something that honestly, because of your background, really led you into wanting to help more people. I mean, let's start off by educating our viewers. What is SPD, sensory processing disorder? What is that for folks that don't know?
It's a neurological reaction to mostly overstimulated senses. There are examples of people that have severely under stimulated examples, but it's on the autism spectrum. So you have a neurological response to a sense being triggered. And I happen to have all my senses, all the typical 5 senses, and there are a few more. You have the sense of equilibrium, or you have the sense of within each sense, like in my tactile sense, I have both what touches my skin and the temperature situation. And, so within each sense, you can have lots of different triggers. And when you get triggered, it causes your nervous system to go into fight or flight. If you get triggered and then triggered and then triggered, for me, I often go into freeze, which is the deeper level of traumatic reaction. So once I was diagnosed, I could actually take it apart and go, okay, that's happening there. The sun's in my eyes. That's problem. This is this. I could kind of solve one problem at a time. And also honor that I know it's what happens if I don't solve the problem. I am much more likely, the other sensors are much higher alert. They're much more likely to be triggered by something that they might not have been triggered by had I not, recovered from the first trigger. And so I tell people I literally do probably 100 things a day just to fend off or, the best solution is to not experience the trigger in the first place. Then you don't have anything to recover from. So I have to have both tools to fend them off and catch them early and, get over that mental, it's okay, get over it, you're fine. When it's like, no,
Yeah.
it's starting to happen. So do something now. It's a little thing. I can do that little thing and I can kind of get back to center. And so
for people that have it, it's got to be a little confusing to them. I mean, I've seen sensory integration dysfunction, sensory modulation disorder, sensory
they're all kind of the
disorder.
same thing.
I mean, all these different subtitles. How do they differ, and how do you know which one
Well,
you
that's
have?
the thing that's made it so hard to diagnose and even harder to treat. There aren't any medications that you can treat it with.
Yeah.
Everybody's individual experience is very specifically their own. They have their own triggers. They have the what happens in their body when they get triggered, and the combination of triggers. And when you add all those complex combinations, nobody's experience is the same. However, we have parallel things. So if temperature is a trigger for you, I've got something for you. There are people that lead sensory groups, like a therapeutic group, where the theme of that session might be tactile. The next one might be a scent, and so people share, this is how I dealt with this. This is how I deal with this situation. And they go, oh yeah, I have that situation too. So that will help me when I go through that situation. But there's no like combination of all those things that are completely equal to another person. That's why it's been so complex to diagnose, to treat. And we're pretty much on our own. We have to have an honest look, have an honest connection to what is happening in our bodies and what the result, the cause and effect. And so then, is there something I can do to fend that off? I'm, a lifelong inventor, product designer, so I'm constantly making prototypes my whole life, 4 prototypes a month.
It's the first that I had ever heard of it. And when we did our research on you, as the first I had heard of, I thought it was going to be interesting for people to know about, because obviously education is key. I mean, so the brain has difficulty receiving and interpreting information from the senses. I mean, I imagine this can cause a range of challenges. I mean, what are the symptoms and some of the more common challenges that people can kind of be aware of, would you say?
Well, I mean, if you think, it responds to your nervous system. So the nervous system's first response to danger is fight or flight. So you're like, I got to get away from this. It's almost a panic to get away from that thing that's happening. If it's a skunk, does the smell, I'm like in a panic to close all the windows in the house because I can't unsmell it. It got into my nose and it's there, and it's going to make a headache go through the roof. And, for me, headaches have been 24/7 my whole adult life. And I chased down every possible medicine and Eastern, Western thing to find relief for my headaches. And it turns out that the sensory processing disorder is a really big part of it. It's not everything, but it is a big part of it. And if I solve them and I get myself back to center, then I feel much better. And,
Absolutely.
that's like beyond those of us that have sensory processing disorder, I have a lot more triggers to be aware of and to catch before they get bad. But we all get triggered. We all get triggered by dealing with road rage or something that affects us, and it creeps into our soul and we can't let it go, and people are like, oh, just let it go. You're like, yeah, I think I wouldn't want to let it go if I could just let it go. And so I mean, we all get triggered, and especially the world has been getting so crazy that we have to recognize, all people, sensory processing disorder or not, have to recognize that we are affected by external stimuli that that we have a choice. That's in the intro. We have a choice to go, okay, wait, I'm affected by this. What do I do to bring myself to center so that I don't come home and take it out on my family because it's just, that experience was so bad. And that ended up being kind of the surprise benefit of these blankets, CNTV, because you wrap yourself up and it's this incredible sense.
I'm glad you have the product there. That's great that we can use that.
You're like it's like a adult swaddle. So it gets, there was a reason we swaddled our babies. They felt safe. They felt secure. In this case, for people like me, I kind of thought everybody was this way, where a part is warm and another part is cold. Having the flexibility of hand pockets where I can hold things and read my book, with my hands in the air and gravity working against me. My hands would be cold if they weren't covered here. And then feet pockets, and you can adjust it to your heart's content. You're fully wrapped up, go in and out.
Let me ask you this. Do they even know what the cause of SPD is? I mean, is it genetic? Does it come from other neurological conditions? I mean, or are experts kind of really still in the dark as far as what the cause may be?
I think it's a little bit in the dark, but if you think of it as on the autism spectrum, it kind of something that you're born with. My children have SPD too, but their triggers are different than mine. But we get it and we understand each other. I think a lot of people go, I experienced that too. And I'm like, they go, so do I have SPD? And I'm like, does it affect you so deeply that you have to do something about it, or you just don't like it? And that's kind of the difference, where it's so bad that it causes pain. You've got to get away from it. It causes panic. That's where it's a deeper neurological response.
Fight or flight situation, a freezing, amping up, as you call it. I mean, so although we do not know how SPD occurs, I mean, the good news is that we do have choices and products that can help us. Is this where the Cozy family of products really comes in? And how did your first product even come about?
Well, definitely that's where they came in. And I wanted to start with the most universal experience that I experience in my senses. And, I was also kind of surprised at products that were designed badly that did really well. We all know the one that's like wearing a blanket with sleeves. And I'm like, it doesn't cover the shoulders. It falls down. Gravity's there. So, 500 million in sales. And then there was a top 5 Shark Tank product that was like an oversized sweatshirt that you're supposed to tuck your knees into. I'm like, who can do that other than somebody under the age of 25 for any length of time? And again, hands and feet are not addressed. So this one had been kind of like, why are these products so successful when they really don't work that great? I have a much better way to solve these problems. But the good news about those other products is I think people are desperate to find a product that truly works, truly warms them. And, it's a luxury product. It's both sides are, it's double-sided. So there's no inside fabric. The pockets have 5 layers of fleece, but you still have such flexibility to what you hold. There's no seams inside because century people do not like seams.
So they not only look great and feel great, but they're functional. We're talking with feet, pockets, finger openings. You have multiple colors to choose from. I mean, this therapy,
all the pockets fold in inside, so it just looks like a regular throw. So it's in reach. You can just put it over the back of your chair. This is the blue color. The foot pocket is nice and deep. Since it's not on camera here, I brought one so you can see that. And there is no product that will warm you like this, but beyond warming you, then the nuances of how to use it, using it at your desk while you work, your hands are warm enough, but you want to keep it on your shoulders. So the weight of the pocket holds it in place and you want your hands out. So, you keep on discovering ways that it can be used. You can lie down in it with your feet in the pockets, and maybe you have a narrow area, but the feet in the pockets keep your feet on the couch without kind of putting effort into them sliding off, or if you've got a puppy dog,
I mean, as a
taking up
kid,
your footroom or something.
as a kid, many of us had a favorite blankie. I mean, maybe there was more to it. I mean, is your blanket for toddlers,
Well,
has that been a big hit? And what has been
yes,
the
it is,
feedback?
because kids, I love the pronunciation of this one, because it's CNTV. We pronounce the ZZZ as Z's. So this is CNTVs for the little kids. Mommy, can I have my CNTV? And especially for a kid that refuses to take a nap, or maybe is on the spectrum, or has ADHD, or is bouncing off the walls, they desperately need a nap, and you're going, honey, get in your cozy, I'll be there in a minute. And I swear, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10,
I mean,
by the time you get there, they put their little hands and feet in, and they snuggle up, they make a little nest, and they're just out like that. But we don't want to tell them that happens, because then there are certain kids that say,
I mean,
okay, I'm not getting in that thing. It always
what
puts
I
me to
think
sleep.
is a lot of my viewers, one of my viewers out there would probably be thinking is, how do your blankets differ from just a blanket off the shelf that a consumer can find? And where can they buy yours from?
Well, they can buy them from my website, COZYZZ.com, and Amazon, Walmart Marketplace. We keep on expanding to more and more marketplaces, but we certainly love when people come directly to the site, because we also have a lot of great information about SPD on the site, especially for adults, because to this day, even when I was diagnosed 10 years ago, there was one book for adults. It was all the rest was for children. And so we've gathered kind of the best information that we can find, everywhere, that is for adults that are realizing, oh, this might be me. And it's nice to have one place where you can find it, where you Google it, and 99 of the articles are for kids. And I think it's great that kids are getting diagnosed early, but hey, what about us? That I struggled till I was in my 50s before I even knew it existed. And that's, that's hard, especially because I was in relationships of sorts that were kind of intolerant, that I was having struggles. So like I said, I kind of did it secretly, made my little products to live more comfortably in my own body. And then it was, with the diagnosis, I was like, oh boy, do I have something to help people. I've also been recognized on many who's lists as being not only the leader of the industry, but I'm the only one that is actually making products that are designed to help people's nervous system, help settle the nervous system. And I'm talking products, not skincare, fragrance, that sort of thing. That's very popular, and that's great for its category, but there's no physical products that are saying, hey, use this and it settles your nervous system kind of magically. I mean, I get delighted and surprised when I've had a really hard day and I'm like, okay, I'm way too stressed. I don't think it's going to work. And I get in there and I'm like, within seconds, I'm like, there it is. There it is. I feel it. Oh, yay. And to have that kind of like, whoa, this is a great tool to bring me back to center. I don't even have to be in it that long, because it warms so quickly and so well. Then, once I've gotten my temperature balanced out, my nervous system settled, I can often just get back to work. So that's
Liz,
a handy.
Let me ask you this. I mean, the comfort and well-being of your customers is your top priority. You constantly strive to find ways to make their life more soothing and comfortable. Is this been rewarding work for you?
Oh my God, this is my life's work. Absolutely. I worked in the tennis industry, and actually my My designs won 5 International Industrial Design Awards. I am an avid player. It's my whack-a-ball therapy. I love, love, love tennis. And I got to go to the US Open and things like that. That was fabulous work, but this is my life's work. And this, especially now in this world, we need tools. We all need tools that will help us settle down, feel better, have a, bring ourselves back to center. And these are just the first 2 cozies. In the future, we will have the COZYZZ, which is the outdoor version, 100% waterproof hood. Best picnic blanket ever because it's waterproof on one side, so you won't get a wet butt. And then I have another product, the CNTVs for the bed, a way to kind of warm your feet, but then cool them when they're warm enough. And then many, many more in different categories. But we're focusing on the cozy line right now.
You can definitely tell you are passionate about this topic and the product. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there and take a look at our website. On the website, you can learn so much more about SPD. On the site, you can order these COZYZZ blankets and also read Liz's story and realize you are not alone. There is information out there, there are tools, and you definitely have a choice. These blankets are designed with your needs in mind. Once again, that is sensory product design, tranquility, and relaxation in every moment. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.